Slide it in.
And it looks over that first day, kind of a rough day, but here we go. It looks like we've got about 3 more minutes to go. This guy's going to take off, and he's first because he's the fastest.
Because he's the fastest. So there you have it. Mike Perlin tell you, and he's breaking it down for you a little bit. So it's 2 days of racing. Yesterday, it had its ups and downs. It was a wild course, very technical. Today's going to be a faster course. It's more of what the drivers and competitors have been on in the past. They have not been up through the northern part like they did yesterday. Today, a lot of this stuff has been raced on a lot before. A lot of these competitors, they know a lot about it. Who knows a lot about it? This guy right here. Dave Mason, Jr. and Sr. These guys are very fast. They're number one, and that's why they're starting here on the line after yesterday was over and done with. No big surprises for those of you that follow Norra, the 500 or the 1,000. These guys, they're a fast car, and they're a car to beat. We're going to continue on and move on down the line, and I'll talk about each and every competitor as they leave the line here. But keep in mind, the fastest from yesterday start in the front. The slower drivers start all the way in the back. There we have. Today is set up for a total of 204 racing miles, 204.7 to be exact. In transit miles, it'll be 57.7 miles. Overall, through racing and transit, will be 262.4 miles. When I say transit, for those of you that have not tuned in the past, this is the start line. This is more of a celebratory start, if you will. The real start time, the real racing will happen down a ways a little bit. They have to leave Ensenada. They pull out here on a very busy main road. They have to go at speed and follow the laws of traffic. Once they get through that section, which is going to be 28 miles from the start in Ensenada to Santo Tomas, their time will really, truly start. And they will race from Ensenada to Santo Tomas 77 miles in the special. Then they will get into transit number 2 in Colonette. That's where they'll have a small 15-mile transit, and then they will finish up the last and final leg of special number 2 of 127 miles of racing on course, and then it'll bring them back to the 14 miles here, right back to Ensenada, in the same spot that we are right now, but going the other direction. All right, we are off and running. Dave Mason, Jr. and Sr., they are fastest on course. Right behind them, this is the 127. We saw these guys, well, we didn't see just yesterday, but every time, every Norra, this is a car that is very, very competitive all the time. And this is the 127 Fab School entry. And this is Matt Hoyton. It's a 1996 Jimco Class 1 in the Evolution Buggy class. They've been very impressive, these guys. Every race, whether it's a 500 or a 1,000, these guys are running up front in their 127 Fab School. Now, the difference is from the 1,000 versus the 500, we have different drivers in this car. And which makes a bit of a difference. You know, the 1,000 is a different type of race here. The 1,000 that we have in April starts here in Ensenada and runs all the way down the entire peninsula. This is a 2-day race with 2 loops, a northern loop and a southern loop, and they've chosen different drivers for this vehicle. And either way, it seems to be working out as they continue to run up front. All right, so only a few seconds left to go. And we will once again be getting all of the competitors off the line here this morning. And this is the longest out of the 2 days of racing. Not by a lot. We are looking at, I said earlier, total racing miles today is 204.7 versus 184.7 yesterday for day number 1. Now here is our vehicle number 10 car. This guy's really great setup. Ready to rock and roll. They have their mechanic in the back, and this guy knows everything about this vehicle inside and out. It's a 3-seater, and they're traveling in style. They've got their driver, of course, and then they've got their navigator. And then in the back to assist everything, they have their mechanic. It's an ideal setup, truly. And not to mention, it's really, really driving in style and in comfort in there. It's an awesome truck. And yesterday, and I'm not saying this to be rude, but they were so impressive in this. And it's physically a large truck. It's a heavy truck. It's not extremely nimble. So to go through the tight trails of day 1 and things, up through the pine forest and through some of these goat paths, for them to do so well, end up so far up front, really impressive. Now today, and I don't want to jinx them, but today is a day where this truck could really, truly perform, and they can really make it happen. This is a faster section, more dirt roads, things of that nature, and that's where this truck can really make it eat. I'm just going to be quiet here for a minute. Once we get into the 10-second mark, we're 30 seconds out. And this is the fire utility number 10 of HP helicopters, air cranes, and air support. These guys are getting ready to head on out here. And when we get inside the 10 seconds, I'm just going to be quiet and just listen to this vehicle right now. And they're just going slow off the line. But just listen how throaty this is. And this thing really lets her eat. I mean, just gagging the throttle a little bit, and that thing just sounds so nasty. Now we're sitting here with Thomas Purcell. Those of you that continue to follow Norra, you know Thomas Purcell name. Very, very competitive in the UTV classes, and no different today. It's not just in the UTV class, but if you notice, this is a UTV that's starting 3rd off the line out of all of the classes, which means he is undoubtedly looking for a positive overall here at Norra. Now, granted, yesterday it's more of a UTV course, but today it's a little bit different, a little bit faster. Can a UTV still grab the overall? I don't see why not, but it's gonna be a struggle for him. He's gonna have to really put the hammer down. He's gonna need a little bit of luck, and maybe even a little bit of bad luck for some other competitors. But Thomas Purcell, if anybody can do it, that man can. All right, here we are, the Triple Deuce Motorsports, vehicle 1979, driving for Method Race Wheels. As they are getting ready to rock and roll out here, the last and final day of the 2022 Norra 500, brought to you by Yokohama Tires and Method Race Wheels. It's good vibes, it's good times down here in beautiful Ensenada. All right, getting ready to drop the hammer. Keeping in mind, as I had mentioned, quite a bit of transit in this stage here. And what they're running is part of the course. It's been raced on a fair amount. Now, when I say a fair amount, I mean all of it has been raced on. But Eliseo and his crew, Eliseo Garcia, he does such an amazing job lining up these courses, getting them areas where they haven't been in before, areas that haven't been run on too much. And I tell you, I don't know if it's just a cruel joke from Eliseo, but he loves to throw everything he can at these competitors. And I think he does an amazing job. But today is going to be no different. They're going to see some silt beds. They're going to run along the shoreline. They're going to go up through the mountains. They're going to be on the goat trail. They're going to be on a bunch of areas that are just, it's racing. It's Baja, and it's what it's all about. And a lot of these competitors have been on some of this. Now, do they remember it? Well, I don't know. That's going to be up to them. So here we are. This is the 1429 right now. You're ready to jump off the line. This is the 1992 Toyota truck of Darren Harris. Very cool vehicle. So you see Lisa here, our checkered pants girl. You'll see her at the finish line with those checkered pants on. Giving them the final countdown here. And keep in mind, folks, also, as we've got PJ Jones right behind the 1429 in his UTV. Not only is he also going for possible overall, but we can talk about the Carta Grande here in a minute, which means big wallet. When I say big wallet, I'm talking about all the contingency prizes, cash and prizes that are offered competitors. Only 5 seconds left to go. There we go. Darren is off. Now coming to the line, this is a competitor right here that could win the overall as well in a UTV. PJ Jones, he's all business here. As you see Lisa here talking to him, we're talking about overalls and things. This is a vehicle here, as Lisa's chatting with him, that can hands down win the overall. We haven't seen that in UTV, and it could happen here today, especially with the fire roads and things that we're going to be on, and the 4-seat and the longer wheelbase makes a massive difference here, and it could really help out. And this is a guy, he's raced IndyCar, he's raced NASCAR, he's raced Stadium Super Trucks, he's won a lot of things in the desert. PJ Jones, son of Pernelli Jones, he can make it happen here. Right. So only a small time to go before PJ Jones is on. Then we're going to start getting into more of our trophy truck competitors as well. And anyone that's thinking about, hey, I'd like to go down there, I'd like to go race on there, I'd like to check that out, I want to see what it's all about, or I just want to go for a tour or something, you can get in touch with PJ's Performance, or PJ's Rentals, UTV Off-Road Rental, and they can get you dialed in. They're out of Phoenix, Arizona. They spend a lot of time down here. Best of the desert as well in the United States. Anywhere you want to go racing off-road, they can make it happen for you in the UTV community. All right, and PJ Jones is off the line and officially back in the 2022 Norra 500. Here is Greg McCarthy. Greg McCarthy, he's getting a fist bump out here, ready to rock and roll. And Greg McCarthy starting off, driving the truck yesterday, ended up co-driving on the way back. Greg, we feeling good today?
You know, I feel like a winner today. I think we're going to do well.
We got Greg in the coach here.
Yeah. So we switch. He started yesterday, I'll start today, and we're halfway through.
I got a good surprise for if you weren't here yesterday. Wait till tomorrow. He looks like a Jesus that's just hauling butt out here to get that helmet off.
It's Jesus to you.
Jesus to me. Hey, brother, good luck, homie. We'll talk to you at the finish line. All right, so there we are in the number 48 entry. And that is Matt Volger, Kevin Murphy, Craig McCarthy, as they get ready to set sail out here in that 2015 Geyser Trophy truck. It's an awesome piece of machinery. And they are ready to hit the course here in just a little bit. All right, only 30 seconds out, Lisa tells him. All right, we're going to be almost inside 10 seconds and ready to rock and roll here. And coming up here is the number 63 coming to the line. Rad vehicle right there. That is also in the Evolution Unlimited Buggy class. It's the 2017 Lumicraft two-seater pre-runner, and that is Guy Evans behind the wheel there. They get ready to head out and rock and roll themselves. All right, so there he is, number 63. Very cool looking rig. A lot of very impressive vehicles here, part of the 2022 Norra 500. All right, see some selfies happening there. Everyone having fun with Mike Perlman. Like they're reminding everyone to take it easy when they leave here. They are pulling into a very busy street, and they have to abide by the rules of the road until they get to the actual start of the race course. As I mentioned earlier, this is more of a celebratory start. It's funny, everyone was not necessarily on their A game for day number one yesterday, as a lot of the competitors had showed up late and were not in the proper starting positions. And it kind of threw things off a little bit. And then at the end, we had about 6 or 7 vehicles that they just all let go at the same time, said, hey, you missed your spot. It kind of screwed things up a bit. But today it is a very busy, bustling and hustling starting line as everyone is here at the same time. Everyone is here ready to rock and roll. It is rather electric here on morning number 2 here from the 2022 Norra 500. All right. So I'm getting the feeling something along the lines happened here. As we talking about the times, everyone going off at certain times, this vehicle sat here for the length of 2 vehicles, and I'm wondering why that is. I'll see once it gets out of here. It's a little quieter here in a minute if I can find out exactly what had happened there. But they had them sit here a little bit longer, double the length of the others. Nothing that this vehicle, number 63, had done incorrectly, but something wasn't quite right there. Didn't quite seem kosher to me, and we'll find out what. All right, so we should be about inside of 10 seconds here. The 20 seconds. There is the 63 off and running. Now we're going back in. This is Joey Black here. Joey Black's looking, the truck's a little banged up, but nothing that he had done incorrectly yesterday. Just as simple as, well, I guess it's not simple, but had a competitor going the wrong way on course. and ended up being someone that they were good friends with. They talk to all the time, they deal with all the time, and they ended up hitting each other head on. Luckily, nobody was hurt, but it really tore the truck up pretty bad. But the majority of it, other than the front bumper and cosmetics, that's the main thing. Everything else is pretty sound with the vehicle, and they're ready to get going for day number 2 here. This is a very fast, very competitive truck here, the 6130. As Joey Black ready to rock and roll. It's a beautiful looking truck. Well, hey, we used to be a beautiful looking truck. It's still a very cool ride right now. It's a 2016 6100. And it's in the Elevation Unlimited truck class. It's beautiful. It's really a rad truck. It's Joey Black, Chad Black, and Jimmy Rios running and operating this machine here. And we would consider this almost like a heavy metal class, if you would, in the 6100. It's a really rad truck. All right. Our cameraman getting a nice face full of that exhaust right there. Couldn't have been more on the money. And we are 10 seconds out. And then we're going to get into another Fab School vehicle. And now rolling off the line. Now we come into the Fab School vehicle of the 521. This is a vintage Class 5, 1957 V-Dub Class 5 Unlimited, driven by Hap Kellogg. All right, now on the line, it's the 507. And keep it in mind, folks, the way that all the competitors are coming off the line, this is how they finished yesterday for day number 1. And not physically, but how they finished by time, which is the way the race works and all off-road racing does down here. 507 right now on the line. Let's take a look and see for that. That's going to be your vintage Class 5. 1968, Jake's Fab Works. This is Rick Paquette, Brian Denault, and Ben Swift. Ready to rock and roll here. Here is the 1898 of Cameron Bernila's 2021 Can-Am XRS Turbo using the Evolution. Easy for me to say this morning. Really rolling off the tongue. Evolution Modified Turbo UTV class. And that is another one of the PJ Performance vehicles here. Very similar car to what we saw PJ taking off in earlier. Quite a few vehicles yet to go here. Keep in mind also, earlier we saw, or we didn't see, but we know that all of our competitors took off the line that were in the slow safari class, all of them in the Rapito and the slow, and those guys down here just kind of doing their thing in slow Baja and safari. Just out there having a good time. They're just cruising the northern loop today, as they did the southern loop yesterday. They are opposite what the competitors here are doing. So they're now up in the northern section. They've got the they're going to have some fun surprises, to say the least, up there as they head up that way. I'm sure they talked to some of the competitors and things that raced it yesterday. But what they're quickly going to find out is it's very wet, but yet it's very dry. It's kind of crazy up there. They're going to have silt beds. They're going to have mud. They're going to have water crossings. They're going to have a little bit of everything up there in that section. And that is our safari classes. They took off early this morning at 7 a.m. You know, these are all the heavily competitive classes here that are racing the Southern Loop. Benjamin Button in the 222 Motorsports is on the line here. That Triple Deuce Motorsports team has been extremely competitive, and all of the Norras, since I have been doing time now, they have been really on the gas, very, very competitive UTVs. And the Triple Deuce of Benjamin Button, it's a 2018 Can-Am XRS. And it's a really trick-looking vehicle, I will say. All right, inside 10 seconds. Ready to rock and roll. Now up to the line, it's the 1918. And we see him, this is I just looked at it here. This is Reese Millen here. Reese Millen and Donnie Powers ready to rock and roll. That is a car that has some pretty talented people inside of it as far as drivers and navigators go. Reese Millen, he's had so much success in his off-road racing career. And then we look at Don Powers as a navigator, navigating, you know, obviously for Reese. He navigates for Wes Miller with the Bomb Squad Polaris team as well. And just a top-notch competitor when it comes to navigating down here in Baja, Best of the Desert, and all different types of off-road racing. All right, here's the 112 on the line. Thank you. The 112. And also in the Evolution Unlimited Buggy class, it's a 2017 Aluminum class, Class 1 by Christian Weber. Very cool pre-runner. And here is the 1313. Good morning, how are you?
Do you like Mexican burritos? Yo hago tortillas.
I'm good right now, thank you. But maybe if you come back in a little bit, I might.
Okay.
And in the 1313, Evolution Stock Turbo UTV. That's a 2018 Polaris Razor. And that is driven by Mark, oh boy, we went through this yesterday, Yurderald. I know I didn't get that right. I apologize to everyone that knows Mark. I'll fix it on the finish line. And right behind him is the Yokohama Tires entry of the number 38. Getting some Yokohama support, or at least at a minimum giving Yokohama some love. You gotta love Yokohama. I work with them in so many different facets of motorsport, from sports car racing to off-road and everywhere in between. And what a product they put out. Absolutely amazing stuff. The number 38 here is the Evolution Modified UTV 217 Polaris Razor. This is William Franklin and Brant Anderson. And we see the number 38 ready to rock and roll right behind him. It's the UnlimitedRV.com entry of Valerie Clark. Valerie Clark, an 18-year-old female who is a freshman in college, and she can drive the wheels off this truck. That's a 2016 Geyser 6100 of Valerie Clark with Chase Thomas as well. Very, very impressive how well this young woman can drive this truck. I'll tell you, there is not a ton of females racers in off-road, but the majority of them that do race are just in full beast mode all the time. They really are. When you think about Valerie here, you think about, say, Sarah Price. You think about Julie in the single-seater. We have her here, all of the different races. It's just really impressive how these women are just such fierce competitors. You can't take anything away from Trisha Rena as well. I mean, just the few competitors that we have that are female are amazing. Here we are in the number 811. Hey, Casey. All right, so here we are with the 811, the Giddon Motorsports vehicle. And this is in the historic truck and truggy class of 1988 Chevy 1500 of Trevor Giddon and Tony McCormick. And now coming up to the line, they're coming right on through quickly here. They must have had a couple of them. They're a little bit out of whack. This is the number 93 of Mario Gutierrez Jr. Here. All right, boys, you ready to rock and roll today or what?
Yeah, we're going to go have some fun.
Excellent. And day one, but not so bad.
Day one was awesome.
And day two, you guys should know a little bit more of this course. These cars have been on it. 10 seconds to go. Good luck, fellas.
Thank you.
All right, so that is our team with the main driver being Mario Gutierrez, Jr. and Senior, both of them out here running two different side-by-sides. And then there you have the number 72 here of Kevin Adler. And right here, starting off in front of him, the 555. It's an awesome, awesome buggy. This is the vintage four-cycle buggy class. Brian Baldron and Aaron Martin getting ready to take off the line here in the 555. Right behind him, we have Adler in the 72. You see up here Kevin Adler, he's a bit of a wild man. I was saying here, Kevin Adler said he's a bit of a wild man. He likes to rock and roll here on the track, man. You got to be pumped on day number 2, brother.
Yeah, we're looking forward to cleaning this.
Big party. That's the Adler Motorsports big party. Good luck, brother. And Adler Motorsports putting on our big party for tomorrow. Sunday up at Transpeninsular. Our big awards banquet is going to be an awful lot of fun. Nobody knows how to throw a party quite like Norra and Adler together. All right, so continuing on here. This is the second entry from the Unlimited RV team. This is the 6151. And this is the father in this bad boy right here. And this is also a 2016 Geyser 6100. This is Stacy Clark. Stacy Clark also working in conjunction with Joe Black Racing. It's the third Joe Black Racing sponsored 6100 out there. Here is Mark McMillan in the number 23. That's that 1979 Chenoweth 1000, driven by Mark McMillan. Two legends in motorsports in one. One of them being Chenoweth, the other being Mark McMillan. Here are these super trap looking pipes. Popping and locking, that thing wants to eat. There's a little bit of unburnt fuel coming out. And they're about ready to rock and roll here. McMillan running up front, pretty far up front with that vintage buggy. Quite impressive the way he's able to make that happen. And we're going to start getting to a lot more UTVs. The pack's a little more spread out than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday they were somewhat done by class. Today it's more along the lines of, not more along the lines, it is what's happening. All of them are going off the line where they finished overall after day one was over and done within the record books. Mark McMillan well inside the top 15. Very impressive for that buggy. Now we're getting ready to go into the Hudsons here in a minute. All right, so here we are with Renee Hudson. Renee, day one went well. You're well inside all the UTVs, so you're looking very, very good. You guys must be happy about and excited about today.
Yeah, we're very excited about today. Hopefully everything goes perfect. Yesterday we had a couple issues, but today's going to go great.
Right on. Congratulations on getting through a hiccup day, but still doing well with it. And we're pulling for you, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you at the finish.
Thank you. I appreciate it. See you guys at the podium.
Right on. See you guys at the podium. I love the positivity. So there is your 2018 winner in her UTV class. That is Renee Hudson. And as I had mentioned earlier, very few females in off-road, but the ones that are here are just full beast mode. All right, now we're sitting here with the number 27 on the line. That is a 2021 Can-Am Maverick X3. and that is Chris Cowell and Rob Seamus. Getting ready to go off the line there. All right, so we are now getting well into the pack here. We're upwards of about 20 vehicles in, ready to rock and roll. As you see, now coming American Rentals Motorsports coming in here. This is going to be the 6109 coming to the line right now. And that's going to be another 2016 Geyser Trophy truck spec. Tony Murray, Kyle Murray, and Amy Rios getting ready to head off the line right now. And Geyser with quite a few entries coming on to the line here for Norra. This one got a little banged up yesterday. We saw him have a little bit of trouble when he got here to the finish line yesterday. Most, it looks like the majority of it was cosmetic. It looks like, I could be wrong, but it looks like someone really pumped him in the rear end here pretty good, as all the damage was to the rear of the truck. So I'm curious to see exactly, to find out exactly what had happened. Or if we get one of their crew guys or something, we can maybe get some information on what had happened to them here. And now this is the first of the two Hammond Motorsports entries here. This is the 902 coming to the line here. Our Smart Patches entry. It's a 2018 Can-Am RC. That's Gregory Powell and Nick Garvin in that vehicle. And that is one of two of the Hammond Motorsports vehicles. See Mike Perlman running in conjunction with all of the police and security here in Ensenada. Says we let them off the line so they can enter properly into traffic. And then we come up to the line with another awesome truck, the 821. And the 821 is driven today by Richard Rasmussen, Lee Virginik, and Patrick Bell. That is a 1992 Chevy 1500. All right, and now this is the 88 coming to the line. And the 2022 Polaris Pro R of Don Mankey. Don Mankey, a name that we have known for some time down here in Norra, always a great competitor. And ready to rock and roll in what is a virtually somewhat stock 2022 Polaris RZR here. A couple of different odds and ends here on this, but for the most part, it's a relatively stock machine. And then we've got the 721 here as well. All right, so here's the 721 as well. This is John Breckshot and Sherry Breckshot, John and Sherry, in 2022 Polaris Pro R as well, the Evolution Open UTV class. All right, so they are getting ready to head off here in just a little bit. I think about 10 or 20 seconds out from the 721 hitting the course. And there we are, 5 seconds out, and the 721's hitting the course. Next up, our next entries really need no introduction, as it is Mad Max Gordon. Man, have fun, go out there, and I'm looking forward to getting one of these myself here, man. This is the hot setup right here. Hey, have fun, guys. All right, there is the 177 of Max Gordon. And right behind them, as well as the A18. And 818 of Donald Mankey and Chuck Sutton Jr. as well. Now it's the Bacons. It's the first married couple, I believe, off the line here today, Ned Bacon. And he has his co-driver with him of Cat Bacon as well. And they are in a vintage open production cars, a 1964 VW Class 5. And they've been doing this for, I think he said roughly around a decade or so they've been racing together. And all right, and they are off and running, the Bacons, and Ned and Cat Bacon. And then we see here the Boomer Jacks Racing, Brent Tipp, and the number 2977 there. Brent Tips and Yuri Moralsek. And they are in that Can-Am vehicle from the Boomers Jacks Racing team. And then right behind them, we have also the Warfighter Made team. These guys doing a lot of great stuff. And the Warfighter Made, they're ready to rock and roll here. A great group of people, guys and gals here running that Warfighter Made vehicle. All right, so we only a few seconds left to go for a lot of great people involved with that machine. Now we're ready to go with the 185 coming to the line. And that's going to be Rich and Dave Wessel in a 2020 Polaris XP 4-seater. And they are all excited in the cab of that vehicle right now, just pumped and ready to go. And so now they are inside 30 seconds before it is their start time for the Kessel boys. And they got their Method race wheels on there, ready to rock and roll, looking really good, looking sharp. What a wonderful product Method race wheels puts out. We see them on a lot of these competitor vehicles. And then it is the first of 2 Porsches coming to the line right now as well with a Roth Sport Racing. And they are in the 964 of Jeff Garmuth. Jeff, a heck of a guy. And they are ready to rock and roll. I mean, this today is a day where that Porsche should really be able to let it eat. It's going to be much faster today, a lot more of the dirt roads, a lot of the stuff where that Porsche really likes to run. The rough stuff is not necessarily ideal for it. But I tell you right now, it certainly is for this Porsche. This course is certainly set up for them, and he's going to have a great time with it. And following out right behind him is the 1321 as well. So that's Debbie and Ron Rash and Cody Rash taking off with them as well. And then we got James Seed as well. And the number 79, really awesome Bronco. That's a 1993 Ford Bronco. Really, really awesome vehicle. These guys are ready to rock and roll here. What a beautiful vehicle it is, and those Yokohama tires really stand out on it. Those Geolanders are so trick looking. Real beefy sidewalls on them. Just an awesome vehicle. Very, very cool stuff for these guys here. Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Coming to the line is the 236 as well. This is a 1995 Ford F-150. The driver of record is Dane Cardone, as he's getting ready to hit the line as well. And then right behind him, it's the 199. Very trick buggy of Tommy Wadden and Nick Tonelli. Nick Tonelli not starting off driving, but I'm sure he'll be in the car a little later on. Tommy Wadden and Nick Tonelli out here having a blast with a new co-driver in there today. And then we're going to start getting into our single-seaters as well. There we are. Tommy Wadden is off and running. And here is the 305 to the line. The first of the single-seaters. Rich Minga in the 1972 Funko SS1. In its day, that was a top vehicle out here. I mean, that was serious off-road. It is. It's a long day in those single-seaters. They've got a lot to do. Very busy in there. Rich Minga sharing the driving duties with Ivan Ironman Stewart's son as well. I believe that was Ivan's son in the car right now. Rich Minga throwing the green flag. And now we're getting into Balsura Blanco Racing, the 1978 number. As we look in here for the 1978, they are about mid-pack, a little less than mid-pack, a little farther back than mid-pack, so I had a little bit of trouble yesterday with TB Milner driving as the main driver of this vehicle. Off and running. That Can-Am. Now we come up into the AA Motorsports entry of the 1960. In the 1960, it's a 2016 Polaris RZR 1000, driven by Alan Alexander. Alan Alexander got one of the slightly older UTVs out here on course. And I don't know if he knows or not, but can get into contact with someone that is with him. He's already leaking some coolant, it looks like, pretty badly. So hopefully he's aware of what's going on there, and they got gonna have that all dialed in. Then we get into another one of our Baja Bugs. There, that's the 1199. And the 1199 here, about ready to hit the course. That is vintage class 11, 1969 VW Beetle. Colin McKay. Shiloh Strunk. And we had a quick interview with them around the finish line yesterday as well. Shiloh started off the driving duties yesterday and finished up in the co-dog seat. And then they switched that up, I believe, today as well, as they are sharing the driving duties for that vehicle. So we're getting ready to go off the line here in just a couple seconds, and then we're going to get into Brent McKay and Carl Ryer in the 1299. That's a 1988 beat-up sedan with Brent McKay in it. Also vintage class 12. Then we, after the 1299, then we're going to start with this Long Beach Racers, this really cool older Toyota. They found themselves upside down yesterday in a ditch, completely upside down, blew the windshield and everything out of it, but all in all, they were able to continue on. The Warfighter May team came on by. Ended up flipping them back over, getting them out of the ditch. They're able to continue on with the 717. This is the 1989 Toyota pickup. Christopher Livingston and Ted Moncure. All right, so now only a few seconds left to go until the 717 hits the line. And then we're going to get into this. And 30 seconds out left to go for this awesome looking Toyota. And I tell you what, that thing took a lick and it kept on ticking yesterday as they were able to get themselves back up on four wheels and finish the race. Fixed up a couple minor things and got her back running again. And then we come up here with the 1010 entry. This is in the vintage open truck rear leaf spring class. It's a 1989 Ford F-150. Dan Mankey. So Dan Mankey back on board here. All right, getting ready to rock and roll. One minute left here till Dan Mankey hits the trail. Now, folks, we've been sitting here for about, I think, a little over an hour. Actually, an hour on the dot, which means we have about a good half the pack out on the race course itself right now. So as competitors are still leaving the line here and following the traffic laws through Ensenada, nice and easy, we already have an awful lot of drivers and competitors out on course right now, and they are really getting to it. This is going to be a very challenging but yet fun and exciting section of racing today. You see waving the flag out there now. We've got Mary McGee. Mary McGee, our official marshal, grand marshal. Now we're coming up to the next Boomer Jacks racing vehicle. This is their four-seater in the 2978. This is in the Evolution Stock Turbo UTV class. It's 2017 Can-Am X3, driven by Kyle Swanson. So here we are with Kyle Swanson, driver of this. Brian Lunas as well, I think, in there. I don't know if as a driver or as a co-driver today. A lot of these competitors for the Norra race switching it up, making it interesting. All right. Now it looks like we are only going to be 30 seconds left to go for Boomer Jacks Racing, for them to hit the course for our 2022 Norra 500. Brought to you by Yokohama Tires and Method Race Wheels. Method Race Wheels, they're lighter, they're stronger, they're faster. As you're now only roughly about 10 seconds out. As you see Lisa giving that marker, and it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Frank Russell coming to line in the number 183. This is a 2010 Chevy Lothringer, driven by Frank Russell III, Carson Russell, and Travis Mace. They are in the Evolution Unlimited truck class. And a really nice looking vehicle it is. They must have had a truck today for them to be starting this far back. And now we get into the West Safari. Yeah, two of these guys here, these are actually really rad vehicles. I'm telling you, you look at them, you kind of want to laugh or giggle a little bit, but and they're no joke. These guys hammer out there. They really, truly do. They're on the gas. I've had some other competitors, and what you would think by looking at it would think, you know, far more competitive vehicles have talked about how they can't shake these guys in some of the certain areas there, and they're just really out there jamming. I just think that's so rad. You know, the West Safari team is really, really impressive what they can do with these vehicles. All right, inside 10 seconds left to go. They're off and running. Now we're getting back into some more of our side-by-sides. This is the 8166 right here. And the 8166, Colin Monahan and Sean Udice, the 2019 Can-Am Maverick X3. As they could get themselves prepared to hit the trail. All right, and here we are in the 1881 Gallus Jones. And 1881, also in the Evolution Stock Turbo UTV class. A lot of competitors in that class. This is a brand new 2022 Can-Am X3. Scott Jones, Jamie Gallus, Lance Jorgensen, and Jamie Gallus again. And then we got on the list here. So these guys, the Brown and Brown entry, getting ready to go here. And they are off and running. And back at it for day number 2 here from the Norra 500 here 2022. All right, so right now we're sitting at the 213 here, and the 213, that is also the Evolution Modified Turbo UTV, 2019 Polaris Razor Turbo 4, Razor 4 Turbo, Larry Morales and Vern Finnegan set to hit the line. Only a handful of vehicles left to go after this, 4 more in total. And the 711 coming to the line right now. 711, that's in a vintage 6-cylinder truck. It's a 1987 Ford Ranger of Richard Bartel and Dave Dietrich. And I don't know exactly what happened here, but the left rear quarter panels tore up pretty good on this truck, so that might give you a little bit of the story of yesterday. Very cool truck. You see here a lot of this, you know, they use the stock chassis as well, and then they put in some of the tube chassis themselves for their shock towers, building their own road cage, building their own rear shock towers in the front as well. So very, very cool vehicle. That's what I love about Norra, all the different classes they have for all these different vehicles. So they're only 3 seconds out, and the boys are hitting the track in a 711. Now here's the 4-seater of the Hammond Motorsports Smart Patches entry, and the number 904. Starting a little further back than I would expect. Maybe had a little bit of trouble with that brand new vehicle. All right, the 904 in the Evolution Stock Turbo UTV class is a 2017 Can-Am Maverick. And that is Eric Hammond piloting that vehicle. They were 2017. That thing looks clean. And right behind them, we see the 1122 entry. And they're going to be following them right on out. That is a vintage class 11. All right, and that concludes all of our start off here, and then we have our sweep team coming through behind them. And that's just not the beginning of that. There's a lot more to it than that. So day 1 of contingency and tech, it's over and done. What's in the record book. Day 1 of racing up through the North Loop. Yesterday was very, very technical, far more challenging than what I think a lot of the competitors were expecting. Eliseo Garcia, as I said before, I think kind of a mean joke. He just likes to give them everything they possibly can. He throws at them from silk beds to water crossings to mud, going through tight pine forests. It was a difficult day. Day number 2 now is underway, the last and final day. We're heading south and doing a southern loop. It's a little over 200 miles. They'll be back here, finishing right here again later this afternoon. Keep in mind, you want to stay tuned. We got Kevin Johnson. He's out there catching all the action. He got some great stuff for you yesterday. I expect nothing less today. So they'll be giving you the action throughout the day as the race rolls on. You catch me back here later on about 3 p.m. Pacific time, as I'll be here with all the finishers are coming right back through here from Ensenada, heading this direction. It will bring you all the action all day long. This is the 2022 Norra 500. I'm Sean Sermi. I'm kicking it over to Kevin Johnson.